Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today I bring you guys a pretty strange monster. This is going to be loot from 10,000 Catablepons. Released into the game July 4th, 2006, and of course found in the Stronghold of Security. These Catablepons are essentially creatures that appear to be green bulls with reptilian tails. They are found on the 3rd level of the Stronghold of Security, and they can cast a spell which actually does weaken you, and it's basically a white sparkle kind of attack, and that does drain up to 15% of your strength level. So that is kind of why I went with range for this video. I just went with a basic Dorgish and crossbow setup. I did do some kills prior to actually starting this intro, so I kind of had a good idea of how often these things hit and what are the best things to actually use here. And at first I would say for the first 5,000 kills I did use range the whole entire time, and then for the last 5,000 kills I did switch on over to melee using a whip. And even though these Catablepons do lower your strength level, I was always making sure to bring supersets whenever I was using melee. So my strength level, even though it was getting lowered all the time, I was consistently kind of going back up because I would bring strength pots, which I do recommend you bring here if you ever do happen to kill these things. And you may be wondering, Mr. No Sleep, why would I ever want to kill a Catablepon? Well, that's kind of why I wanted to kill 10,000, so that we can actually see and track all the drops that we do get, because 1,000 of these low-level monsters just isn't enough. We definitely have to add another 0 to that. So hopefully by the time we get to the price check, we can all agree that these are, either going to be worth killing one day, whether you're a low-level account or just a normal account, main account, whatever, or that these are not worth killing at all for anyone. So by the time we get to the end, hopefully that question will be answered. In regards to the combat level of these Catablepons, there is 3 different levels. The lowest one is 49, and then upwards from that you have 64 and 68. Now this room on screen here, which is pretty much the main room that I was using for this video, is kind of alternating between this one and the room just south of here. These are all the level 68, so these are the top dogs, and the ones to the south are the level 64s. And in all honesty, I'm not too sure where the level 49s are. I do imagine that they're probably in a different room spread across the 3rd floor, but I will say that these 2 rooms that I used in the video are the main rooms where you can find the most Catablepons at. I think in the other rooms, you might find a little bit of spiders, which is also a really popular training method down here. The giant spiders was kind of the go-to monster to train your, attackers, strength and defense up, even your range up. I would say starting at around level 70 towards 80 and even upwards of 90. No doubt about it, it is the best training spot in free-to-play, those giant spiders, which are in the same level as these Catablepons. And before Nightmare Zone was a thing, these giant spiders were a very popular place to train, even in members' worlds. But enough about the spiders. This video is about these awesome cow-like reptile things, and I gotta be honest with you, the drop table for these Catablepons is definitely not as good as it should be. A lot of people watching this video, you may not really know what this monster is, but a popular monster that is also in the Stronghold of Security, just one level prior to this level, is the Flesh Crawler. And what I find really strange is that the Flesh Crawler is much lower combat than the Catablepon, and you can kill it much faster, and the drop table on the Flesh Crawler is exceptionally better than the drop table for the Catablepon. So that's why after you see this video, I'm actually going to be working on loot from 10,000 Flesh Crawlers on this account. And by the time we get to the end of that video, we can compare the drops between the 2 monsters. And yes, we did just get a Dragon Spear drop. Not too sure how rare that is. All it says on the wiki is it's considered to be very rare. So I don't know, probably like 1 in 10k or something like that. And as you can see in the inventory, we did keep track of all the stackable and noted drops from these Catablepons. The stackable drops being the mithril arrows, the coin stack, which the Ring of Wealth was equipped the whole entire time, so it took care of keeping track of all the coins. As goes for the runes, you have Fire, Water, Chaos, Cosmic, and Law rune, and we didn't bank any of those, didn't use a rune pouch or anything like that, just kept them all in the inventory from start to finish, so you can see them grow over time. And in regards to the other drops, they are known to drop a little bit of herbs, not much at all, but the herb sack is recommended for that, and the same goes for gems. It's like a 1 in 130 for, I think, each of the herb drops, so you're not going to get them too often, but I will say the gems at least somewhat added up after 10,000 kills, so the gem bag definitely recommended. You can also expect some noted pure essence and noted coal, and if you are a free-to-player, you will be receiving noted rune essence instead of pure essence. And there is one very unique drop that's a 1 in 101 drop rate. Very strange number. And this is an adamant med helm, which is essentially just, you know, an addy medium helm. And the reason I find this item to be interesting is because you're only able to get it if you are a member. Even free-to-players, you know, if you kill 100,000 Catablepons, you still won't be able to get that addy med helm. And I did look into this, and essentially someone asked Mod Ash on Twitter, you know, why is this a thing? Why can't free-to-players access this drop as well? This is, you know, it's a free-to-play monster, it's a free-to-play area. What's going on here? And basically his answer was it was just a part of how it was coded. Like, there's a couple items, I guess, that you can only get in members worlds. For some strange reason, you're just unable to access them in free-to-play. So yeah, this must have been like a, I don't know, programming error many years ago, since this was released into 2006, and I guess no one really cared enough to fix it, because let's be honest, I think there's bigger problems out there than just the adamant med helm drop from a Catablepon being members only. Oh, the things you learn. Also, a quick correction earlier, I do remember in the intro I said that I killed 5,000 Catablepons with range and 5,000 with melee. Well, I have no memory, so apparently I only killed 1,000 with range and 9,000 with melee, so that kind of gives you an idea of why range is probably not the best to bring here. I mean, they do lower your melee stats, you know, just your strength level, but yeah, range is still really slow. Maybe if I was using like a blowpipe, it would have been faster, but obviously not worthwhile to use scales and darts here. And just looking at the bank tab, you know, that's most of what this video is just a lot of banking, because there's really just unfortunately no drops with these Catablepons. I mean, they dropped just enough to make a video on it, but I mean, it was borderline just making it, you know. I guess one plus side is we're never gonna run out of torches for the rest of my Iron Man's RuneScape career, and pretty much same goes for the Addy Medhelms, although I don't know what I'm ever gonna do with, you know, all the extra ones I have. You may also notice that there is a scepter piece that you can obtain from these Catablepons, and it's labeled the top of the scepter, and this is of course the skull scepter that you can basically build by using each floor in this stronghold of security. One monster at a time, one piece at a time. And since we killed 10,000 Ankus and we did collect 20 scepter pieces from that monster, I did go ahead and collect 20 scepter pieces from the Catablepons as well. Obviously I could have probably gotten hundreds of each piece, but I figured why not just make 20, and after we kill, you know, 10,000 flesh crawlers, I'm sure we're gonna get 20 pieces from that as well. And eventually we will have 20 different skull scepters on this one account, which is, you know, somewhat a weird accomplishment, but nevertheless an accomplishment. And after a couple weeks of grinding this video on and off, finally my carols did break, so I went ahead and replaced the carols armor with Blessed D'hide, Bando's D'hide top, and Sarah chaps. Provides a little bit of prayer bonus, and since I was using preserve the whole entire time, since I was using supersets, keeping my stats boosted for twice as long, the Blessed D'hide was definitely a good call. And here we are at the halfway point, but don't worry, the video's almost over. I didn't really have much to record, just a whole lot of banking. So if you were curious though on how long this video did take me to do, essentially I think I was killing somewhere around 120 to 140 every single hour. I know for a fact you can kill them much faster than that, but I was just going based off of them being aggressive towards me. What this basically means, I'm sure most of you already know, is that if you're standing in a room, the monster will attack you without you clicking it, making it pretty AFK. And after a certain amount of time goes by, I think it's like 10 or 15 minutes, they stop attacking you, so you just have to run out of the room, run to a far spot, you know, off the mini-map, run back, and they just start attacking you right away. So at least this video, although the loot isn't that impressive, you know, it was a pretty AFK-able experience. Not the greatest XP, I didn't even manage to get 98 attack or defense, and you know, I killed like 9,000 of these things, but they are low HP, so obviously not the greatest XP. And for you lower levels out there is multiple safe spots in the multiple rooms. Mainly it's just towards the door, as you can see in the flesh crawler room and many other rooms in the stronghold of security. So yeah, for you lower level Ironmen, or for just lower level pures, or for anyone who just finds this to be an interesting monster to kill, you can use the safe spots as well. And not only was I lucky enough to get a dragon spear drop earlier on in the video, but I also managed to get a shield left half, so adding that to the collection. And at long last, after almost 3 weeks, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Loot from 10,000 Catablepons has been completed. Let's go ahead and go price check. You know, the hopes are really not high for this one, but you never know, could surprise us. Looking at the bank tab, we have 570 torches, 95 25 Addy Med Helms, like I said before, 20 Scepter pieces. Ended up with 1 Shield Left Half, 1 Rune Spear, and 1 Dragon Spear, so that's nice to see. Decent amount of gems, over 100 Sapphires, 34 Emeralds, not really much of the other two, and a couple Nature Talismans just to top it off. And since there really wasn't much to price check, I did do this individually rather than all at once, you know. Gotta hit the 10-minute mark, you know. Anyway, here we are looking at the price check. 1,000 coal, almost 4,000 mithril arrows, just shy of 8,000 pure essence, and with everything included, 112k cash as well. Looks like we made 1.1 mil from 10,000 Catablepons. Certainly a low price check considering the stats of the monster, and I still do find it really strange how a lower level monster like a flesh crawler can have so much better drops virtually in the same exact area. So yeah, guys, I will see you in a few weeks with loot from 10,000 flesh crawlers on the Iron Man. You know, we will do a nice comparison video with that price check. And until then, you guys can expect loot from 100 Jad in just a few days. I'm just waiting for approval so I can upload it, and hopefully you guys have been catching the live streams on Twitch as well. Really been putting in the hours this month, especially towards the end, and I do intend on doing that for next month as well. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. Mr. No Sleep, out.